Hi, Dolly Stiber here, and today I want to talk about the shenanigans going on at the Embracer Group, publisher behind the infamous Kong, Skull Island, and Gollum. So, if you've been paying attention to the news around Embracer, it's been no secret that they've been shuttering studios and canceling projects left and right. Well, in a couple of articles, I found that not only have Pieces Interactive, the developers of the Titan Quest remaster and the Alone in the Dark reboot more recently, have just been shuttered, despite the fact that Alone in the Dark received good reviews from critics and users on places like Steam and Metacritic. Apparently it hasn't sold well enough, and now the studio is being shuttered permanently, which is kind of sad for me. Titan Quest is a series that I very much have a lot of nostalgia for. Played a bit when I was a kid back in the day, so it sucks to see. Plus I was curious to check out the new Alone in the Dark reboot. Kind of still want to, but very much for different reasons now. And the other bit of news coming out of the Embracer Group closures that I found interesting is Fish Labs, the people behind the space shooter Chorus, were tapped to make a new Red Faction game, which I find kind of ironic because apparently, according to the information in the articles, within a couple weeks of Embracer shutting down Violation, the studio originally behind Red Faction, and they went to Fish Labs and were like, make us a new Red Faction. Which, a little bit morbid. I mean, I know Violation had kind of fallen from grace and it's not the studio it used to be, but still, like, to have their own IP ripped away from them and given to somebody else after they're unceremoniously canned is quite something. And then, months later, to only have the project canceled. That's right, a new Red Faction was put into works and then canceled before it ever truly got off the ground. However, it's also worth noting that Fish Labs was working on another project or two, and those have been canceled as well. So now they have no upcoming projects, and Fish Labs might be the next closure because their game Chorus, apparently while selling well, apparently according to some quotes and rumors, people at the Embracer Group are not happy with its performance. Now, for those of you wondering, why should I care? Embracer Group sucks, and yes it does. It does not handle its IPs very well. However, they've gobbled up a lot of stuff. They basically, in 2020, tried pulling a Microsoft and gobbling up as much as they could, and they've gotten their hands on a lot of good and popular indie titles that have active player bases right now. For example, the game you've been seeing on screen, Deep Rock Galactic, a very popular indie game, is owned by the Embracer Group. Their publisher, Coffee Stain Studios, is a subsidiary of Embracer. My concern is all the stuff they've gobbled up that's actually decent, like DGR, because of all the issues and the fact that so many upcoming projects, which means future streams of revenue, have been shut down, that they are going to turn to people like Ghost Ship Games and DGR and basically enforce new monetization policies and fill these games with microtransactions and crappy nickel and diming DLC. I worry that that's not too far into the future. I really hope not, and I really hope companies like Ghost Ship Games or Coffee Stain Studios are aware of what's going on behind the scenes at Embracer itself, and I really hope they're doing steps that they can to try to separate themselves from their parent company as much as possible. What would probably be best, especially for developers like Ghost Ship Games, would be to try to pull an IO Interactive and buy their studios and IPs from their parent company, so that way they can go full independent and not get dragged down with what is clearly a sinking ship. But that's all I got for you today. Have a nice one.